Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My voice is still not completely back to normal. I have been recovering from a throat infection and a bad cold over the past few days. I'm almost recovered now, but there's still a little more to go. So please bear with my voice in this vlog too. This vlog is going to be the last Ramadan vlog of this year. Ramadan always seems to pass so quickly. On this day, I had invited my brother to come over and break the fast with us, but unless he is on leave, it's quite difficult for him to come for iftar. So I asked him to come over after his clinic hours so we could at least have dinner together. Anyway, in our home, we normally have dinner a little late, so I thought I would cook something special for dinner that day. But at the same time, I wanted to prepare a simple snack for iftar as well for the family. The filling I'm preparing today actually brings back a lot of nostalgia for me. This is a filling I first learned to make when I started helping my mom in the kitchen during Ramadan when I was still in school. Back then, this was the only filling I knew for making puffs. Usually, I used to make it with chicken, but today I'm making a similar version with eggs. It still gives almost the same flavor. So do give it a try, I'm sure you will love it. First, scramble the eggs and keep them aside. Then in the same pan, add a small slice of butter. Add black pepper powder. This is the ingredient that gives the filling its flavor, so don't skip it. But at the same time, make sure you don't burn it. Next, add minced garlic and let it fry for a few seconds. Then add onion, capsicum and carrot, all minced into very tiny pieces. Mix everything for a few minutes along with a very small amount of garam masala powder, just a pinch, some kasuri methi and a little soy sauce. Add some chopped coriander leaves and salt and mix it well. Finally, add the scrambled eggs back in the pan and mix everything really well. And this filling is ready. While filling the puff sheets, you can also add a little mozzarella cheese along with the egg filling. This step is completely optional, but it does add a nice extra flavor. To be honest, when I used to help my mom make these during Ramadan in my younger days, I never added cheese. Back then, we always made it just the filling, and it tastes just as good. Next, I'm preparing another drink for iftar. It's a mojito. This is actually my very dear friend Jinu's recipe. I think I had shown this once when we were living in Riyadh, but I thought I would share it again. For this drink, you can use any mixed fruit from the store. Just make sure the juice has some slightly sour fruits in it, like pineapple, berries. That gives the drink a much better taste. Pour the juice into a bottle or a jug. Add fresh lemon juice. Here I've used juice of 2 lemons. Then add an equal amount of a carbonated drink like 7-Up. You can use alternatives to 7-Up as well, but the original recipe actually uses 7-Up. You can also use soda instead, but if you do that, you might need to add a little extra sugar to balance the taste. Then add some mint leaves and a few slit green chilies into the jug or the bottle. Mix everything well. It's actually better to add the fruit juice, lemon juice, mint leaves and the green chilies first together and let it sit for some time. Then, just about 5 minutes before iftar, pour in the carbonated drink. This way, the fizz stays fresh and doesn't go flat. For dinner, I'm preparing a traditional rice dish along with chicken fry. Now, the chicken fry is not deep fried actually. You'll see the method in a bit. First, we need to marinate the chicken. For this, into a bowl, add all the spices along with ginger garlic paste, tomato paste, a little soy sauce. Then add a small amount of oil so the chicken gets nicely coated with all the flavors. Now add the chicken and mix everything well. Keep it aside for at least 30 minutes to marinate. Now for the rice, one important ingredient is freshly ground whole coriander seeds powder. The coriander powder I normally use for curries is something I bring from my homeland. It's roasted and ground along with a few other spices, so it has a slightly different flavor. If you want, you can prepare the base like a biryani by sauteing onion, ginger, garlic, green chilies first, but today I decided to keep it simple and add everything together directly into the pressure cooker and mix it well. I'll mention all the exact ingredients in the description box. You will have to add half the quantity of water in the meat and the other half in the rice, and it should be in the ratio of the amount of rice that you're taking. That's how this recipe is done. Cook the meat for one whistle on high flame and then reduce the flame to very low. Let it cook for about 20 minutes if you're using beef, or around 15 minutes if you're using lamb or mutton. Meanwhile, for the rice garnish, I'm using a mix of ghee and oil. In that, fry some onions, cashews, raisins, and a few curry leaves. This will be used at the end of the dish as a beautiful garnish. So that part is done. Now take a large pot, the same one in which you will be preparing the entire dish. Add the ghee and oil mixture that we used earlier for frying the onions. First add the whole spices, cardamom, cloves and cinnamon. Then add a handful of sliced onions and saute them just for a few seconds. Next, add the rice. Mix it well and lightly roast the rice for a few minutes so it absorbs all the flavors from the spices and oil. After that, add the remaining water. I have used here 4 cups of rice, so I had already added 4 cups of water while cooking the meat, and the other 4 cups of water will be added here with the rice. Add some salt. Cover the pot and cook it on high flame. Now keep an eye on the rice, and once water level and rice level becomes equal, that's the stage when you turn off the flame. Now back to the meat that was cooking in the pressure cooker. The steam is completely released on its own. Open the cooker and add some freshly chopped coriander leaves and mint leaves. If you feel there is still too much liquid left in the meat, just keep it on high flame for a few minutes and let the gravy reduce a little. Then add a pinch or about half teaspoon of garam masala powder and mix everything well. Now take this whole meat mixture and add it into the rice pot. Remember, the flame for the rice has already been turned off at this stage. Mix everything gently so the meat and rice combine nicely. Just check the salt and add more if needed. Once everything is mixed well, level the rice, cover the pot and turn the flame back to high. Let it cook like this for about 4 to 5 minutes. When you start seeing steam coming through, the rice is ready. At this point, turn off the flame and let it rest without opening the lid for at least 15 minutes. Now place the hot rice onto the banana leaf. I added a few fried onions, cashews and raisins on top. Actually, I wanted to add chicken pieces also into each banana leaf packet as well. But by that time the chicken wasn't ready yet. It was still getting marinated. Now coming to the chicken part. In a pan, I poured some coconut oil and first fried a few curry leaves. Once the aroma came out, I added all the marinated chicken pieces together into the pan. I kept tossing the chicken occasionally so that it cooks evenly and absorbs all the flavors. To give the dish an extra aroma, I also added a little freshly grated coconut. This not only adds flavor to the chicken but also fills the kitchen with a really nice smell while it cooks. Then I added some chopped coriander leaves and a few slit green chilies as well. Once the chicken was almost done, I added some pepper powder, some red chili flakes and a little bit of sugar, which gives the balance. And that's how the chicken fry came together. Meanwhile, my brother arrived from his clinic and as always, he never comes empty-handed. He brought some sweets with him. Dinner was finally served and we all sat together to eat. And that brings us the end of this video and also the last Ramadan vlog of this year. Ramadan always feels so special and before we know it, the month comes to an end. Hopefully, I'll be able to share more Ramadan vlogs with you again next year. To everyone watching this video, I just want to send my prayers and good wishes to you all. May every home be blessed with health, safety and happiness. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of these Ramadan moments with me. Take care everyone and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.